good evening for some of you. It's Pastor D. It's Prophetic Insight for the month of December. December 2020. We're getting close. We're getting close. We're getting close. We're getting close. Oh, y'all hear me? We're getting close. It's 2020. So, if you're watching the replay, share this out. I want to give it to you today. I know it's holiday after for some of you, so I pray that you had a blessed Thanksgiving, that you were with family and friends and loved ones, and that God smiled so on each and every one of you on yesterday. Hello, everybody. Tell me where you're from. This will be uploaded immediately to YouTube once I'm done. I am aware it's Prophetic Insight for the month of 2020. Hope you guys are having a blessed day. Tell me where you're from. Tell me hello. I'm going to give you other church announcements at the first 5 minutes, and we're going to get started. It's going to be blessed. It's going to be, listen, for May of 2020, and I wrote this down, May for 2020. Listen to this. Our ladies' night out, and I'll put all the links on YouTube and in the description. Hello, everybody. Our ladies' night out, it's going to be May 2020. You have to register to come. Now, listen to me. You have to register to come. It's free to come. All you got to do is register. Wow. It's going to be, hello from Arlington. Hello from St. Louis. Hello, Maryland. It's going to be free. I haven't done a ladies' night out in 3 years. We're going to do it for 2020. It's free. You got to go to Eventbrite. You have to register because seating is limited. Hello from North Carolina. And so you got to get registered. I'll put all the links in the description once I'm done. For the ladies' night out, our prophetic mentoring and our pastoral mentoring, there are exactly 10 spots remaining. 10 spots. If you are interested, you got a few weeks to sign up, but there are 10 spots remaining. You send an email to unitychurchdallas@yahoo.com. unitychurchdallas@yahoo.com. Make sure everybody can hear me. unitychurchdallas@yahoo.com. If you're interested in the prophetic mentoring, unitychurchdallas@yahoo.com. That's for pastoral mentoring and prophetic mentoring. They'll send you all the details. That's going to be for the the year of 2020, for the pastoral and prophetic mentoring. Come into the room, share this out. Nobody shared it. Make sure you'll share it. And so our strength conference is coming on next year, September 17th through the 19th. You can get registered at strengthwc.com. strengthwc.com. All y'all hear me? strengthwc.com. So you can actually go to strengthwc.com, get registered. You're going to be glad that you did. So again, I want to make sure that you are aware that you can also attend our church service at 6701 South Hampton Rd in Dallas, Texas, Sundays at 1:30 p.m. All right. Again, thank y'all for coming in. It's good to see so many of you guys on today. It's a blessing to have so many here that are listening to God's word on today. And let's make sure we got everybody connected and make sure we got everything connected for us, because I want to make sure y'all get this on today. So I'm making sure all this sound and all this stuff is good for y'all. So make sure y'all can hear now. Make sure y'all can hear. Let me see. Can y'all hear now? If not, I can start it over. So there we go. I think y'all good. So again, all these announcements are forthcoming again, so I want to make sure everybody can hear. Y'all good? Are y'all good? So before I put the replay up, I want to make sure everybody can hear everything we're doing before I get started. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, you can scroll ahead about 4 or 5 minutes. If you don't want to hear the church announcements, you can scroll ahead. Facebook, can you hear? If you can, tell me that you can. Okay? All right? Good. So now some of you always ask during the broadcast, because I don't say this much during the broadcast, but if you want to sow during the broadcast, our website is www.pastordlouis.com. You can always sow, or the Cashapp is Pastor D-L-O-U-I-S. If the word resonates with you and God speaks to your spirit, definitely you can do that, okay? Once you have shared it, type the word share. Y'all keep asking me about these bracelets and different things like this. I'll talk more about this at the end. The site to get this on is Treasures of Opulence, and I will put the link in the description. Treasures of Opulence. I have several of these, and what I'm going to do forthcoming, I'm going to showcase some of my members and some of my members' products that they are selling, because I want you to purchase some of these items, okay? But this is on Treasures of Opulence, and you can get that on their Facebook page. God bless y'all. If you are ready, type the word ready. Now, if you are not following me on YouTube, follow me on YouTube, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, Pastor DLOUIS. Follow me on those social media channels. I wish that you would. So many of y'all know. After you share it, type the word share. I want to share this for the month of December, and we're getting very close to 2020, and so this is for December 2019, and I believe God's going to really speak to your heart on today. God, as these people of God listen to you. God, even watching live or watching the replay, God, speak something to each and every one of them and incline thine ear to hear what you have to say that will resonate in their spirit directly, God, that will catapult them into the best season of their life, where they will walk into nothing but momentum. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Listen to me. This is where I'm going to start at. And I was praying, and literally God gave me this 3 weeks ago. And he said, the first thing that you about this month, going into 2020, there will be 4 words that will resonate in your spirit. Somebody write this down. Somebody take notes. Somebody needs to hear this. 4 words that will resonate in your spirit. Nothing shall be impossible. Wow, if you know I started off like that, you can expect God to say something to your spirit. Nothing, type it, put it down. Write it down. Nothing shall be impossible. Nothing shall be impossible. I'm going to say it again. Nothing shall be impossible. If they're dreams, they will come to pass. They will come to fruition. These days of nightmarish things will come to an end. Nothing shall be impossible for the believer. Listen to this. God says men are the ones that impose boundaries for you, but I have no boundaries because I have limitlessness. And because of my limitlessness, what happens is this. The limitlessness of God intimidates men. And because it intimidates men, some of you are not even in the season that you are getting ready to walk in, where God's getting ready to put you in a place where you're fruitful and you multiply. And people are intimidated because they understand where you are going in God is limitlessness. That's why some people can't stand you now, because they understand that God is getting ready to let your dreams collide with your destiny. Everything's getting ready to come to pass in your future. And because of this, you intimidate people, and you're not even in the place where God wants you to be. God Almighty, yes. Some of you need to understand today that this month it's getting ready to really intimidate people, because they're getting ready to watch you walk into a season going into 2020 where you will say nothing shall be impossible. And because of that, some people can't stand you and you're broke now. Watch what God is getting ready to do for you. Some people can't stand you now and you don't have everything that God has promised you. You will walk into the season, nothing shall be impossible. Listen to this. When you accept the limitlessness of God's nature, listen to me. God says what's going to happen, you will be abased and you will be abound from stress. You will be abased and abound from worry. Nothing shall be impossible for you, because what will happen, God says you have been in a season, some of you, of lack. But that season of lack for me, God says, was only for a moment. And because it was just for one moment, watch this, y'all. God says there was a pause that he put in your life. And this pause was a pause between outpourings of blessings. It was a pause between outpourings of abundance. It was a pause between outpourings of miracles for you. The sound that you have heard from God, the signs you have heard from God will be an outpouring for many of you. It will be a place where you realize that you have never failed and God has never failed you. And because of that, listen to this. God says, stop living fearful. Stop living in dread. Stop living in doubt. Stop living stressful. Stop living in anxiety. Every promise that God has for you has been yes and amen. Wow, let me try it again. Every promise that God has for you has been yes, and it has been amen. And what's going to happen, you will walk into a month of rest. And because you will walk into a month of rest, Periscope and Facebook that's watching me live, God says you will rest in the reality that nothing is impossible for him. If you need healing, it will happen this month. If you are decreeing it, it will come to pass this month. If you want God to bless you, it will come to pass this month. Nothing is impossible for God, and God says if it's possible to you, then he is not in it, because he only works in supernatural. And because he only works in the supernatural, ladies and gentlemen, you can't listen to this. Because he works in the supernatural, you have been dealing with God too naturally, because you said it's not in the reach and realm of my budget. And God says to him, that's supernatural. I don't work in the natural. Because you can't afford it doesn't mean God can't afford it. Let me say it again, like I said it before. There is no recession in heaven. Oh, Lord. Okay. And because there is no recession in heaven, you don't have to participate in it, because God says he is not in recession. I've commanded to bless you. And because I've commanded to bless you, you don't know how to live in lack, because families live in lack. You don't know how to live in dreams or without dreams, because family has had no dreams. This will be a month for rest, because you're giving it over to God. And God says when you rest in him this month, he is boundless and he is limitless. He is saying what's going to happen. This will be a month where he will live out his omnipotence in your life. Oh my God, I'm really trying to make y'all get this. I got 9-10 pages of notes that God told me to speak over your life for this month. He says this will be a month where he lives out his omnipotence in your life in the face of days that's been pitiful for some of you. Watch this part, y'all. And he also says, listen to this. I've also had a heavenly host. And because of these heavenly hosts, what's happening with these heavenly hosts, I've placed heavenly hosts around you. And because these heavenly hosts have been around you, I've placed them on scrutiny. They've been looking at your life with scrutiny. They've been watching everything of your life with scrutiny. They've been doing it with terrible scrutiny. Watch me, y'all, because they have been looking at the plight and predicament that you are dealing with. And because they have been looking at the plight and predicament that you have been dealing with, they've been looking at your life with scrutiny. Why? Because they're getting ready to remind you that God's getting ready to live up to his name. Lord God Almighty, some of you right now, you don't even understand what I just said. God's getting ready to show you that I've been looking at your life with scrutiny. I've been watching things. I've been watching you live marginalized. I've been watching you live minimalized. I've been watching you live paycheck to paycheck. I've been watching you take medicine because you've been sick in your body. I've been watching you be faithful to me. And because of that scrutiny, I'm getting ready to remind you that I'm going to live up to my name. Some of you are not really hearing what I'm saying. He's getting ready to remind you again that if I've done it before, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to live up to my name. Watch this, y'all. And because of this, he says, when my name is uttered, when my name is exalted, listen to me, my name is uttered and my name is exalted this month, my angels will spring into action. God Almighty, y'all, come on. I just need a couple of prayer warriors on the other end. My angels will spring into action this month. And when you utter my name, says the Father this month, watch me, y'all, you will utter my name and literally feel earth tremble. You will utter my name, you will feel it tremble under your feet. You will utter my name and you will see, ladies and gentlemen, that skies will darken overheads because myriads of angels will come down to your plight. You will utter my name. You will understand that the position that you are in, angels are coming to render aid to you. When you utter my name, Jesus, somebody type that word in the comment section. I need about 200 of you to type it while I'm speaking. That name, Jesus, y'all, because he says, when you utter my name, this will be the month where I prove myself. When you utter my name this month, he said, this would be the month where I forgotten about you. I did not forget about you. You don't think that I left you out. Do you not understand that I did not forget about you? He says what's going to happen, the reason you felt like that, because you didn't realize that what I'm getting ready to bring to you will be such on a cosmic scale, it's going to even outweigh the prayers that you've been praying. God Almighty, some of you on here right now, you've been praying and you don't even understand the reason you had to suffer through it, because God's going to bring it to you bigger than you've even been praying for. 100 of you type that word bigger. Listen to me, y'all. He says, now my kingdom and all its attendant powers, my kingdom and all its dignitary, my kingdom and all the warriors that I have, he says God is going to dispatch them in force this month. And when he dispatches this in force this month, as you lift up his name, there will be a signal and a sign from heaven that's coming to destroy your enemy. And I don't know about some of you, but this is speaking in somebody's life today, because God said there will be signals that will come from heaven that will disintegrate the enemy once and for all over your life. There will be signals that come from heaven that would literally kill, hear me, every plot of the adversary. There will be signals that come from heaven this month that will come and aid against every witch and warlock that's been trying to stop your destiny. There will be signals, come on y'all, that will come this month, because what's going to happen, he told me to remind you that what I told you on last month, he says, now you will walk without limitation. You will walk without restraint. What's going to happen? His now will collide with you this month, and his now will collide with you in dunamis power. And when it happens in dunamis power, and you say all things are possible, it's going to pour down regrets. When you say all things are possible this month, it's going to pour down sorrow. When you say all things are possible this month, it's going to bring back trust for most of you. When you say all things are possible this month, God says, I'm going to remind you, according to Numbers 23:9, that I am not like them. I did not lie to you. I did not forget you. I am not like them. I promised it to you, and I promised it to you. And if I promised it, I will not promise something and not live up to my name. God will collide you this month with a kairos moment. And when he collides you with this kairos moment, what's going to happen? He says, I'm going to literally step back through time. And as I step back through time, I'm stepping back through time to rewrite your destiny. I'm stepping back through time to ensure your breakthrough. Come on, believers. I'm stepping back through time because I've initiated a shift for your life this month. You've been going through 11 months in the year. I've initiated a shift to take place in December. Come on, y'all. You've been going through every month this year. You've been faithful, some of you, to God. You've been still going to church. You tired. You still broke. You've been sick in your body. This is the month where you collide with a kairos moment. A kairos moment is a God moment. It's a moment that God had already placed in time to come to your rescue. And when you collide with this kairos moment, what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen? He's initiated a shift for your life. Because he's initiated a shift for your life, you will now walk into now 1 Peter 5:7. Watch this. He says, you will cast all your cares upon God. Oh my God, because he cares for you, which means this month you will throw down every care, which means this month you will throw down every haste. You will throw down every burden. You will throw it down with haste and quickly, because God will not deny you this month. And I don't know who I'm speaking to, and I'm trying to pause this so y'all can really hear what I'm saying. But God's getting ready to prove himself to you, ladies and gentlemen, because what's going to happen is this. He told me that this will be a month where I don't deny you. This would be a month where I don't delay you. This would be a month where I don't say no for most of you. Are y'all hearing me? This will be a month because I'm getting ready to prove to you. I am releasing unto you a fresh oil. Somebody type that. A fresh oil, according to Psalms 92:10, where the word says, I shall be anointed with fresh oil. Most of you, there's a freshness that will come over you this month. This freshness will literally wipe out a stale year. God, come on. And because of that, it will be such a freshness and a newness for you. You won't be able to participate in things of old that happened the subsequent 11 months of this year. What God's going to do for you this month, I will be your exaltation. I will be your refuge. I am on the inside of you as a GPS coordinate. And because of this, I'm going to bring down heavenly hosts to you in full fury of the enemy. Because of this, I'm going to bring it down because I'm going to prove to the enemy that I will keep my promise. Come on, y'all. Watch this. God says, tell them literally to strap in this month. It's going to be a riot this month for most of you. Strap in. It's going to take you to places unknown. Strap in. It's going to take you to new heights. Strap in. It's going to open new doors for you without turning doorknobs. Strap in. It's going to get some of you the visions that you had come to pass. People are going to fund your budget. Strap in. God says you are waiting for me to do it in 2020 when I can do it before the year is out. If I promised it at the beginning of the year, what makes you think I cannot do it at the end of the year? Strap in, because what's going to happen? You're going to a ride of your life. I'm getting ready to break the back of the enemy that's tried to hold you back. I'm going to break the arm of the enemy that's been holding you back. I'm going to break cycles and curses that's been holding you back. I'm going to remove you from your bloodline this month. Watch this. And because I'm removing you from your bloodline, I'm going to literally replenish your blood with my blood, and I'm going to give you blood transfusions where you will feel new. You will walk new. You will walk in expectancy. You will have the mind of Christ this month. And when you have the mind of Christ this month, you're going to think thoughts that you can have what you say you have. You're going to think thoughts that if you are willing and obedient, you will eat the good of the land. Some of you right now, you've been speaking too small. God says, throw those petty prayers away. Start to speak the blessings and the favor that I promised you. You are bigger than your bloodline. You are bigger than your family. You are bigger than this ministry. You are bigger than what they say. You are bigger than your following. And because of that, I'm going to introduce you with a freshness that you've never had before. I'm not trying to really holler at y'all, but I'm telling y'all what's getting ready to happen. Stop waiting and say 2020. God's going to do it for you now. And I'm telling you, he says you have dominion in Christ. And because you have dominion in Christ, the enemy, ladies and gentlemen, back will be broken and you will stand. Hear me. You will stand with your foot on the neck of the enemy this month. Oh God, come on, y'all. And because of that, I'm sheltering you. I am your shelter. Listen to this part. He says, I am in a place where I'm going to draw myself over you as a canopy. And when I draw myself over you as a canopy, I've literally caused grace to shield you from the consequences of your choices and the choices of others. I've placed a canopy of grace around you. And because of that, I'm going to shield you from your own dysfunction, and I will shield you from the thoughts and the wiles of the adversary. You don't do everything perfect, God says, and I don't expect you to. Contrary to popular theology, I don't know who this blessing, but God says, I don't leave you to your own deserts. Okay. And because of that, I don't abandon you because of your consequences and your own immaturity. He says, if I was that, he says, I understand human frailty. And because I understand human frailty, the reason some people will not like you this month is because they know what you've done, but I've still given you favor over your life. I got to get out of here. Y'all almost ran around this room. Some people can't stand the fact that you ain't prayed 24 hours a day and God still loves you so much. Come on. Some people can't stand the fact because of who you are that you ain't done everything perfect, but God says, I chose you. Some people don't like the fact that God's getting ready to do something for you, and they sit there and they keep trying to be judgmental about everything that you've done. You're going to remind them, yeah, I done it this month. Yeah, I did it this month. It was me that done it. I was the one that slept around. I was the one that was the adulterer. I was the one, but God showed me grace over my life. You keep on trying to put me in a season where you want me to participate back in my past, but I have been removed from my past and I've gone past my past. And whom the Son of Christ has redeemed, who is already, listen, whom he has set free is already free indeed. Stop letting people put you back in your past. I got to get out of here, y'all. Oh, my God. Oh, hold on. I got a little bit more. Y'all stay a minute. Y'all got 10 more minutes. Listen to this. Watch me. God says, I am defending you this month. And because I'm defending you this month, I'm delighting in you. He says, I'm delighting in you because my passion for you was motivated by me on the cross. Come on, y'all. God said, it was my love for you that restrained me from calling legions of angels to deliver me from the cross. It was my love for you that compelled me to endure, hear me, to endure 1,000 insults that I did not have to endure, and the defamation of men in order that I may obtain the bride of which you are a part. And because I love you so much, come on, y'all, somebody type that word love. Because I love you so much, you are my delight. This month, bask in the radiance of God's love for you. God will remove you this month from the sting of rejection. Earn contempt of others. This will happen this month. It will be lessened because you will delight in God this month. God says, now I've engraved your name, on my hand. And what I've done, I've engraved it with the fragment of the stains that you have. I've engraved it with the dirt that you have. I've engraved it because I love you. Because watch me. He says, when I've engraved it on my hand, my love for you will never fade. Hear me clearly. My love for you will never fade. It's the all-consuming desire that justifies the existence of God in eternity. I got to get out of here, y'all. 7 minutes and I'm done. Watch me, y'all. God says, now, when heaven comes to earth this month, the most important thing you can do is prepare the way. Y'all stay with me. Prepare the way. There are things that you've been asking me to deal with. Hear me. There are things that you've been praying about. And God says some of the things you've been praying about, I actually put it in your hand. He says there are things you've been petitioning God for, and I've actually put it in your hand. Watch this. This is getting ready to bless 10 of y'all that's paying attention, and I got to get out of here. He says, now you do what you can do, and I will do what I can do. This month, this is the part I want y'all to hear. I will make up the shortfall. Somebody type that. Please tell me y'all can hear that. I will make up the shortfall this month. I will make up the shortfall this month. Hear me again. I will make up the shortfall, says God. Watch this. And what's going to happen, he will now add his omnipotence to your impotence. Yeah. He says, I'm going to add my omnipotence with your impotence. And what I'm going to do, he says, there is literally an alarm clock of heaven that will go off this month. And because this alarm clock of heaven goes out, watch this. He says the alarm clock of heaven will only read now. I need 100 of you type that, N-O-W. Make sure y'all do it. Type it now. The alarm clock will read now. He says, now, this month, declare your now. Speak to your mountain. Be like Caleb and say, Lord, give me my mountain. He says it will happen for you now. Believe for your now. Your miracle is now. Your healing is now. Your breakthrough is now. You don't have to wait till 2020. God says, I will give it to you now. I need y'all to type it now. God's going to do it now. Declare your now. Believe for your now. For now is come that the moment and season and process that brings change to every strata comes to your life. I need you to keep typing it. Type the word now. Because you have been thinking that God is minimal. He is not a minimal God. You need to understand that God's measure is not minimal, nor is his measure marginal. Come on, y'all. Watch this. Nor is his measure uncharitable. Because God says, my measure in your life will be Ephesians 3:20, exceedingly and abundantly. He says it will go beyond your expectations. And because it goes beyond your expectations, even when you are most optimistic, I will make you more optimistic optimistic because when I bless you, I will bless you again. He says the answers that you receive from God this month will be as sweet surprises for you to go above and beyond what you have been praying for, to go above and beyond what you even expect this month. He says, ready or not, here he comes this month, because there is nothing narrow about him. There is nothing narrow about his benefits. There is nothing narrow about God's blessings. There is nothing. He says, I am the God of more. Type that, somebody, M-O-R-E, more. I'm the God of more. I will give you more than you think. You will see this and you will see the blessing, and then it will now burst and you will not be able to contain what I am doing for you. He says, because of this, he says, you have been determined. Who am I talking to? You said you've been so determined. You've been so diligent. You've been so prayerful. You've prayed more than you've ever prayed in your life this year. Who am I talking to? And because of that, he says, I'm going to convince you finally of my benevolence and my character. And because I'm going to convince you of my benevolence and my character, he says, I'm going to bring all things to life. God, there it is. I got to go, y'all. Type that word life. I will bring all things to life. The thing that I will be able to do, it will be so uncommon and so rare for most of you that it will be uncommon, unusual favor for you. Okay, he says, now what's going to happen? I would literally surpass even myself. Y'all got to see that spiritually, y'all, on your behalf. He says, but what I need now, I need the permission from you. Okay, I will not bring it to you without the permission. I need you. I need you to understand that you've been praying. Now, don't stop praying, but praise now, because praise will be the permission this month. He says there will be an endowment that's literally has your name on it. And because of this endowment, it will be an endowment of grace. It will be an endowment, come on, believers, of favor. It will be an endowment that I will give you an unfair advantage over your enemies. They've been putting their mouth on you, but they're really about to see the unfair advantage on your job. They've been trying to get you fired, but they're getting ready to see an unfair advantage. They've been trying to kill you, but I'm giving you an unfair advantage over your enemy, because what's going to happen, I'm giving you an unfair advantage over lack and limitation. I'm giving you an unfair advantage because you will walk in the superiority of my goodness. You will walk and you will no longer be bounded by your capacity. You will no longer be bounded by your capacity to imagine just how far you can go with Christ this month. You are under no requirement to repeat the failures of your past. I got to go, y'all. You are under no requirement to repeat this. Sorrow and sighing will leave this month. Anybody hearing this? Anybody receiving this? If you're receiving it, somebody type, I receive it. He says, watch this. Go ahead and laugh in advance. Oh my God. And I'm sweating, y'all, because I went to the gym before I got on here. But I want to make sure y'all hear me. He says, go ahead and laugh in advance. Wow. And laugh in advance, because watch this. You will laugh the laugh of faith. Yeah, there. You will laugh the laugh of faith, because there are dividends that are coming because of the fidelity of Christ. Come on, y'all. Because what's going to happen? You will laugh the laugh of faith because God's getting ready to reign over your life. What's going to happen? When you laugh the laugh of faith, you will no longer be concerned about what others are saying against you or what others may be doing. When you laugh the laugh of faith this month, God says the enemy's job is to keep you distracted. You will no longer be distracted by the whisperings. You will no longer be distracted by the threats. You will no longer be, there are literally smoke and mirrors for you this month. Your focus is to be up on those things that you are accomplishing. You will accomplish the assignments this month. I've commissioned you to fulfill your destiny this month. The outcome is not in your enemy's hand. The outcome is in God's hand. Okay, he says, now, when you collide with my providence, here it is, I'm out. The outcome is determined by my grace. It is determined not by the people around you or the opinions of people. He says the outcome is not determined by institutions. It's determined by the kingdom of God. He says, if I am for you, who can be against you? Oh, y'all hear me today? Who can be against you? Hear this, y'all. If I've directed you toward a goal, do the goal this month. Your critics cannot exclude you from the plan I have for your life. Anybody receiving this on the day? The critics cannot exclude you from the plans that I have for your life. I'm going to say it again. The critics cannot exclude you for the plans that I have for your life. Come on, y'all. The critics cannot exclude you. He says, I've made great promises for you. And because I've made great promises for each and every one of you, I have made great promise that will give you clarity this month. Somebody type that word, clarity. It will give you clarity this month. Because of these promises, you will see Jeremiah 29:11, your plan for your life revealed. This present distress, and I'm getting ready to go, y'all. The present distress is only one small subchapter of your destiny. If you are dealing with distress right now, God says it's only one subchapter of your destiny. Oh my God. Can I go further, y'all? And I'm going to get ready to shut this down. Listen to this. The last part is this. The obstacles before you look formidable. It looks as if you will never get your business flourishing. It looks as if you would never move out of that apartment. It looks as if you would never get a better job. It looks as if you would never finish school. The obstacles before you are formidable. Listen to me. But God says they are only formidable from your perspective. God Almighty. Come on, y'all. And because they are only formidable from your perspective, he says, listen to this last part. They are small dust of scale to me. Come on, somebody. Y'all type the word small because God's getting ready to let you collide with big. Type it. It's small dust to God. It's so minuscule. It's so small to God. And God says what you will do, you will come and stand by him this month. And when you stand by him this month, it's so small to him that I will show you how large I am. It is dust to God. It is so small. On your perspective, you need to see it as God see it for you this month. You need to decree it as God tells you to say it. For most of you, ladies and gentlemen, you will not be afraid this month. God has not given you the spirit of fear. You will not walk in anxiety this month. You will not be stressed out about it this month. He is literally removing stress from your body and taking things off your plate as I speak over your life now. What's going to happen? This is going to bless the rest of y'all. God says, I am literally knocking down the gavel in your favor. Come on, y'all. And because I'm putting the gavel down in your favor, he says the outcome that you've been praying for is assured. Who is that for? Come on. The outcome that you've been praying for is assured. It's assured. The gavel will be in your favor. It's assured. You've been praying all year. It will be assured this month. You've been waiting for income tax to come around so you can catch up. God will catch you up this month. You've been praying for God to restore your home. It's assured this month. You've been praying for God to pull you off of some things and some medicine. He's going to do something so supernaturally. It will be assured this month. If I'm speaking to you, somebody say it on here right now and say, it's me. It will be assured this month. Why? Because you will finally rest in God where you say this month, God, I'm going to leave this to you. I am sick of trying to figure this out, some of you are saying. Some of you just spoke last night, even going around your family members. You had to put on a face and act as if you got it together. You had to go around other people and you're watching people happy and you have not been happy. This will be a month where you are happy again. You had to go around family members on yesterday and save face for some of them because they never expect you not to have strength. So you keep having strength in the face of adversity. And I am speaking to you believer that are listening to me right now that can't tell anybody about what you've been going through. You've been going through everything and everybody asks you to pray. You've been going through everything and everybody is asking you for money. You've been trying to take care of other people this whole year and everybody keep hoping that you would bail them out. You've literally been sapped of strength. You've literally been sapped of relief. You have been at a place where you have thrown your hands up and you said, God, I can't take care of all my kids anymore. God, I'm barely making it. My money's shorter than my month. God, I'm barely doing this now. God, I know they think I got it together, God, but I am in a place where I am sick of trying to be there for everybody else. And you have not, ladies and gentlemen, even been to the doctor because you know nothing's wrong with you, but you have stressed yourself to no avail. And because God, once again, has deemed you to be the strength of your family, the plight and predicament that most of you have endured is that you can't really tell anybody when you struggle. But what's going to happen this month, hear me, God's going to send new people fresh in your life that's going to pour back into you. He's going to send new people without agendas that care about you. He's going to send new people that are praying for you and they have no manipulative tendencies or tactics or motives this month. It will be a holiday season for you where when you walk into the new year, you will walk with new people. Come on. You will walk with new connections. You will walk with new boundaries. You will walk with new restrictions. You will no longer let the same people come back and literally drain you. You will walk into your new purpose where you are going. You will finally see that you can't take everybody with you. You will finally be in a place where you say, God, I need to know who to bring with me and who to cut off. This will be a season where you have you start to have spiritually inside of you, where you learn how to delete the wrong people that's been draining you. This is what God told me to say, and I'm shutting this down. For most of you that can receive this word, he says, I am removing you from a season of frustration. Who are you? That's somebody on here. I'm removing you, and if you're watching a replay, from a season of frustration. And God says, shut it down out here. And because I'm removing you from a season of frustration, if you listen to the voice of God this month, God says, I will resonate in your spirit so clear, you won't have to work 2 jobs to stay ahead. I'm removing you from an apartment to a gated community. I'm removing you from lack. I am talking to you, woman of God. God says, I'm removing you from a season of frustration. I'm talking to you, woman of God, that just lost your family members and you've been so frustrated and you're asking God why. God says, I am removing you. The why, ladies and gentlemen, that you've been asking. God says, I put you in a place where you can handle it. I put you in a place where you can bear it. I put you in a place. I've anointed you for hard seasons. You don't understand the anointing over your life because you keep second guessing yourself, but you don't understand. You're not like everybody in your family. You keep trying to fit in. You love them and you love them to no avail, but you've been deemed to be the strength of your family. You don't understand why you got to be so dependent. They have to be so dependent on you. And I know you don't like it and I know you can't take it. But God said, yes, you can. He says, I've anointed you to bear the strength of others. But for some of you, he says, what's getting ready to happen for most of you, and I'm done. He says, you're going to walk up that mountain like Jesus did. And he said, and the problem when you're walking up that mountain, what's happening for some of you, that they looked in the crowd and they grabbed somebody. And they said, take this the rest of the duration. And he looked the bill and he fit the mold and he looked like he could handle it because of his height and size and his stature. And God says the problem that some people don't understand, they think because you speak about God so much that you don't have problems of your own. So they automatically and inherently assume that you got it all together and you don't make it any better because you've been taught to go in that faith until you make it mold and you look the part and you act the part. But secretly, I'm speaking to you, man and woman of God. You go home. And after you get out of the presence of God, you cry yourself to sleep. I'm talking to y'all. After you get out of the presence of God around people at your job, you curl up in a fetal position and you just go to bed. After you look at your bills and it makes you panic. But God says, I've seen every silent plight, and I've seen every silent tear, and I've seen every groan, and I've seen every heartache. I've seen every praise that you had when you had nothing. I've seen you by yourself crying yourself to sleep. Who are you? I've seen you. I've seen everything. I've seen you praise me when other people walked away from me. I saw you lift me up when I took your loved one. I saw you. I see you now. Woman of God that is listening to me laying in the bed and you literally were thinking about giving up tonight. This will not be the night of depression or suicide. God's going to show himself to you again, and he's going to reintroduce himself to you again. You are listening to the sound of my voice. You will not take your life. You are listening to the sound of my voice. I got too much on the inside of you. Don't you second guess yourself again. I've performed it before. I've done it before. I will do it again for you. When you call my name, I'm ready to come. Today, you need to hear me. God says you were thinking about and you were on the cusp of giving up. But tonight, when you pray, I'm sending the angels on assignment to bless you. When you open up your mouth today, I'm taking you out of seasons of struggle financially. When you open up your mouth, you can doubt it all you want to, but I've already assigned angels to go before you. I'm waiting on you. Some of you are praying to transition, and you are praying to move from a season you've been stuck in. You no longer, God says, have to be loyal in a place that's no longer loyal to you. You have struggled because you refuse to obey me, and I'm out. If you obey God this month, I'm going to do for you in 1 month, and it's going to undo everything that caused you adversity, stress, and even what you thought was failure for the whole entire year. I'm going to walk you into a sneak preview of your 2020 in this month. Your children will have anything that they need for this holiday season. You will not struggle to get it. You will not struggle to keep it. When I bless you with it, you will not struggle for it. God is going to show up and come through for you this month because of the great promises he's already promised you. Some of you right now, and I'm done, I'm serious, but God says this. You prayed even last night after you left your family. Woman of God, I see you. Man of God, I see you. You said, God, I'm tired. If that's you, be honest with me. If you're watching a replay, put a message in. I'll go and read them on YouTube. You said, I'm tired. God, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. And then you start to even compare yourself to other people. And you say, God, I do everything for you. And I feel like you're not listening. I feel like you're not living up to who you say you are. You said, I'm tired. But I'm getting ready to let the rest of this year be a vapor for you. And because of this vapor that God's getting ready to put in your life, you said, I'm tired. I can't do it. Thank y'all for sharing Facebook. You said, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I can't keep going this route. I can't keep failing. You are not a failure. You will not. I want y'all to type this. I will not struggle. Hear me. The last part God told me to release in your life for whoever is listening. And I know I'm over time, but God says, you will no longer beg anybody for anything. There are people that could have helped you, and you were frustrated because when you helped them, you didn't even ask questions. And God said, I would not allow them to help you. I would not allow them to show up at your ministry. I didn't allow them to show up at your entrepreneurship workshop. They didn't share a poster or a flyer. They did nothing to help you. You were in the worst season of your life. You were looking around. You were perplexed and you were upset and frustrated because you said, God, if I got it, I would do it for them. God said, no, I've anointed you for this season. If they help you, they take my glory. Yo, God, come on. If they they help you, they take the credit for me. If they help you, then you probably would have resorted back to a carbon copy of who you used to be, or how you used to be in your past. And I refuse to allow them to help you, because if they would have helped you, you would have settled. So what you had to do, you had to endure it by yourself, and nobody saw the struggles. You kept posting and tweeting scripture. Nobody saw you suffering. You didn't say a word to nobody because you didn't want to share it with nobody. Nobody saw you go through by yourself. Nobody said a word. Nobody even came to you. And sometimes you wore it over your face. They didn't understand. You were struggling to get from point A to point B. They didn't understand that you were just struggling trying to take care of your kid. They didn't understand you had to get on government housing and get approved for something just so you could survive. They don't even understand you had to work 2 jobs just to get to the place you are. They didn't understand you had to give up your substance, and you had to literally do some other things so you can keep your lights on. You had to go sell some stuff out of your house just to get $20. Who am I talking to? They don't understand, and they think that you had it all together, and they think that you had it all together, and they think that you were balling. They don't even understand. They don't understand, and they got the nerves to put their mouth on you. But what's going to happen this month? For every devil in hell that put their mouth on you, God's getting ready to make them eat their words. I feel sorry for everybody that gave up on you, because God's getting ready to show them everything that he promised you. And your testimony will be simple. I didn't brown nose to get it. I didn't do no tricks to get it. I didn't have to kiss up to nobody to get it. I didn't have to go do nothing illegal to get it. The reason God blessed me is because when I was broke, I still blessed him. The reason God gave it to me, and I am challenging somebody that's listening to me right now, God says you are closer to your breakthrough than you ever been. And if you would believe the word of God on tonight, you're getting ready to walk into that season of manifestations. This month is going to blow your mind. This month, you will not beg anybody. This month is coming up right now to the first. You will have money for your mortgage and your rent. And you're going to look at the end of this month and have overflow. This month, I want you to declare it while I'm speaking. Type that word, this month. This month. I'm not waiting to 2020. I am possessing it now. I am decreeing it now. As you type in this month, your business is booming this month. As you type this month, you will get a bonus for Christmas this month. As you type this month, your book sales and your websites will blow off the hinges, because people would literally go. God's going to literally make a error in computation on Google, and it's going to send traffic to your website. Are y'all hearing me? This month, supernatural checks will come to you. Debt cancellation will happen for you this month. You're going to look around and you're literally not going to be able to speak on how it happened. But the only thing you can do is give the glory to God. I'm telling you, God's going to blow your mind. Watch it happen. Watch it take place. Watch it come to pass. You will see the hand of God this month. And I know if you are doubting, God bless you, but I'm speaking emphatically for a reason. If you believe it, I want everybody, don't jump off, to say, I receive it. Just say it. Type it. I receive it. I receive it. I receive it. I'm done. As a point of contact, we do this once a month. And if God speaks in your spirit to sow tonight. So tonight, there are 10 of you that God can speak in your spirit, and you want to sow $112. I want you to send me your prayer request. Whatever 10 you are, you believe in God for something supernatural and crazy. I do this once a month, and as a point of contact for this word and for this prophecy, I want you to sow. For the rest of you, whatever God speaks in your life, if it's $70, if it's $10, put a 12 in it somewhere. 12, 112, 212, $70.12. I'm shutting this down because God said stop. This ain't a money grab. It's if you believe the word of God. If you sow, you do. If you don't have anything, I get it. I understand, right? But if you do, I'm telling you to do it now. All right? If you want to sow, you can go to www.pastordlouis.com. The replay will go up on YouTube, or the Cash App is Pastor D. Louis. You can sow anyway. I love y'all, but put a 12 in it. If you want to sow, as I'm speaking, type the word sow. The reason I asked you to type that, because some of you do forget, I go back and I go find your name, and I go back and I go and look at it, because if you sow, sometimes you forget your prayer request. Please send me your prayer request. I prayed for 10 prayer requests on today. I'm telling you, I pray for every prayer request. Some of you got shocked because I've responded to some of you. Okay? I do. I can't do everybody, but whoever God tells me to reach out, I do it. So if you want to sow, if you're going to do it, y'all. Put a 12 in it. Please put your prayer request. 10 of you that's going to do that 112. God bless you. Send me your information personally through YouTube, or send it through Instagram. All right? The Cash App again. I got 60 seconds. The Cash App again is Pastor D as in David, Louis, okay? And then my website is www.pastordlouis.com. When you go to the site, you can sow any bevy of ways that you so desire. I love y'all. The 10 that's left for the prophetic mentoring and the pastoral mentoring, you send an email to unitychurchdallas@yahoo.com. Follow me on Instagram at Pastor D. Lewis. Thank y'all for sowing. Follow me here on Facebook. Share this to your wall. Let it be a blessing. Go to YouTube. I'm almost at 7,000 followers on YouTube. It's grown in 2 months to almost 7,000. So go to YouTube. Again, you can get this bracelet on Treasures of Opulence, all right? And you can get that on Facebook. I love y'all. Again, y'all keep asking for the Cash App. It's Pastor D, Louis. And it's the website, www.pastordlouis.com. I pray that this has been a blessing to at least one of you. It's my prayer that you increase exponentially, and this month will be unprecedented and unusual favor for you this month. I know God's going to do everything that I release. Thank you, Latasha. Thank you, Ms. Miranda, for putting those sites up there. I'm going to put them all in the links after I get out of here. I'm praying for y'all. Listen, I want y'all to hear this from me. If you sow seeds to do anything, I love that from you. But the one thing that y'all got to understand, that we operate in integrity. And when we say we're going to do something, we do it. And I want y'all to believe that when Pastor D says he's praying, if you do those seeds and prayer requests, I promise you I'm doing it. I love y'all. I hope y'all have a blessed night on today. God's going to do everything that he promised for each and every one of you like never before. I love y'all. If you're ever in the DFW Metroplex, come see me. 6701 South Hampton Road. I'll be there Sunday at 1:30. Bring your family, bring your children. We got something for the children. You're going to get a word from God like never before. Come see me. I promise you, you're going to be blessed. It's at 1:30 in Dallas, Texas. I'm out of time, but I'm not out of word. Y'all stay blessed. I want y'all to have the best holiday season ever. I love y'all. Again, if you're not following me on Instagram, Pastor D. Lewis. I'll talk to y'all soon. I love y'all. I promise you. If you need me, you know how to reach me. Y'all be blessed.